Hey, good morning, Sumit on this side. So this is my second video on the series of nocodo and vibe coding, agentic coding, AI coding, whatever you phrase it as. And yeah, some interesting news. As you can see, Bun just joined Anthropic, or Bun is joining Anthropic. For those who do not have context, Bun is an open source command runner for Node. So this is like your NPM, or if you have used Dino, this is like that. But from the beginning it was a bit not clear, like what is their strategy with regards to revenue, because they didn't really have a visible clear revenue model. Dino, on the other hand, Dino has a revenue model. So if you use Dino, then you may know of Dino Deploy, which is their own hosted provider for running your own JavaScript apps on the cloud, so Dino Cloud, and that's how they make money. And this has been their pricing is there out there on their website. It's visible. I'm hoping that they make money out of it's revenue positive, etc., etc. But for a VC backed company, like Bun is a VC backed company, it was not really clear what their trajectory would be. So it seems like acquisition is one of those options. But it's a crazy time. It's crazy time to be in, because like, why would Anthropic buy a tool company when what we are trying to say, and even I am of course on this bandwagon where I'm saying that software engineering will become less of an impediment for businesses to build their custom workflows or their applications. Like, for example, for me, there's this quote that I believe in, which I'm putting two quotes actually. One is engineering, like all software that can be generated, or all lines of code, rather you could say it that way, that can be generated by AI will be generated by AI. And this other one, I'm just creating a banner out of it, is that software engineering is dead, long live software engineering. Of course, if you know the long live concept, you know that it's not actually dead. It's the idea. We change from one ruler to another ruler. That's what basically it means. So what does it mean in with regards to businesses? Because that's what I am focused on. I am focused on empowering the small medium businesses of this world, and there are millions of them. What does it mean? What do these things overall mean to them? So my approach, like I have said in the first video is a bit different, and of course I'm going to focus on that approach. But one thing is for sure, these great products, Bun being a great product in and of itself, Dino being another, and such, other such tooling, Bun is one such product which is a bit more hidden. You don't see it because you're not necessarily hosting Bun. Bun is not a web framework. Bun is not a content management system. Bun is not an e-commerce provider. Bun is the tool that these other tools need to run themselves. So Bun is basically a command management system. It's the installation package management system for everything that is to do with JavaScript. So most JavaScript technologies that you're going to use on the server side, or to build some of the server side applications, Bun is one of those management systems. Let's put it this way, it's a very high level. Okay. So according to Bun, that they will stay open sourced, they will be hiring more people, they will be looking at the roadmap, they'll be chasing targets faster, better, because now they have more funding or whatever. But what it boils down to me is that a company like Anthropic, they are going to focus more and more into getting more tools to the end customer, the same end customer that I also care about. Of course, these big companies, they also care about it. And that means that the customer will only win. All of these companies who are trying to aim for the customer, trying to make our lives easier, those businesses, those end customers' lives will be better. Now, I do not know of course, like what is Anthropic's actual internal mechanism to think around why does this acquisition, but that's not what I'm here to talk about. What I'm here to talk about is my approach. My approach is obviously a bit different, and this is a product that is related, by the way, that OpenCode, as I understand, also uses Bun tooling internally to create their apps, which a lot of other developers use to. So this is an agentic coding application, and it uses internally Bun to produce their own product. So what I'm trying to say is that it's great for such acquisitions to happen. I don't know of the revenue model. I don't care about the revenue model. But of course, Twitter is going crazy. If you search about it, Twitter is going crazy about these things. At the end of the day, what I care about is, does the customer win? Because, I'm like a small guy, right? I live in the corner of the world where, like I come from nowhere. I'm in a small town, small city. I'm building a product which I believe is going to be globally competitive, is going to give value to my customers, to my end users. So what I really care about is that the trajectory, that is what matters. As I've already mentioned, that the costs of models are coming down. This is happening gradually. It's very visible. Even Opus, the newest Opus, the cost was brought down. So those are really great news. Those are things that I wake up and I'm like, wow, that's really nice, because that's what I want to provide as value to the end customers. Okay, coming back to now, what is the no-code approach? This is something that I'm figuring out, and I'm pitching more and more, and it's becoming clearer and clearer to myself. is that the no-code approach is that, like I have said in my first video, is that you don't have to create all the software that is needed to run your business. That's not what I'm trying to sell here. I'm not trying to create a product where let's vibe code from scratch, like a lot of people, this recent post that caught Gary Tan, for example, said that Zoho's business would be on fire because you could vibe code Zoho's business. I think that's just bullshit. That's just yeah, that's just a cheap way to figure out like how to get more eyeballs onto your tweets. And Gary Tan being from Y Combinator, it makes no sense to me. But here is how I look at it. I look at it from a different perspective. I don't think an average consumer who needs what Zoho provides, the tooling, the software that Zoho provides, email hosting, CRM, etc., out of the box. I don't think everybody needs to replicate all of them. I don't think that saving $30 a month per user for all of these products is going to be beneficial. But there are definitely a whole bunch of companies. So you see, the thing is, for me, the transition is not going to happen from 0 to 1. It's not like that. It's like, for me, it's going to be the next 10 years transition. What it means is that you will start from the niche edge cases. So if you have an edge case, if you're a manufacturer, if you're a D2C brand, which is already shuffling multi-channel sales, etc., on like Amazon, if you're in India, maybe Flipkart, and then you have a Shopify store, maybe you even have your own customer store built on Magento, and so on and so forth, and then maybe you're selling across the world. Running that machinery, running that workflow is not easy. I know this from my own friends who run D2C brands or have attempted, and it's a lot of work. That's where I believe software is going to be better, more customized to your needs. Similarly, if you're running, of course, D2C brands, I could start thinking of D2C brands being where the whole attitude towards building custom software will start off. But you can imagine in 10 years, we'll come to the point where hospitals will be like, yeah, why do I need a lot of these ad hoc things that I've put together to run my hospital? Why can I not invest the time and the money and the effort to actually generate the code needed, use existing open source software, build on top of them? That is, I believe, the future. The future is we already have awesome quality, really high grade open source software. And if we build on top, so let's do a quick search. So I was just looking at this. I was just looking at like, okay, what happens if I search for Shopify on GitHub? GitHub is, by the way, this platform where a lot of developers like myself, we put our source code out there under an open source license. We can discuss about the peculiarities about open source license. I'm not the most educated, learned person about this topic, but it's important to keep the licenses in mind because there are certain restrictions that apply. So if you embrace a software, if you're building upon a software, if you're just using most open source software, by the way, you're totally fine. But if you're building upon it, if you're customizing, and if you're offering that to your end customers, then there are certain legal restrictions that do apply, and we can talk about them later, or I would suggest you to go and dig into it if you're building. So, but what it comes down to is that just to search for Shopify, there are going to be these really high quality products. Many of them, I'm sure, out of the box you can use to build. I don't know, maybe they're offering plugins to Shopify, maybe they are offering some integrations, maybe they are just theming on top of your Shopify site, whatever. I could do the same search, for example, for CRM. Let's say if I search for CRM on GitHub, I'll probably find. And the way, by the way, I measure is the number of stars on this. So this has, for example, 37,000 stars. This speaks immensely of probably the work that these guys have put in, whoever is the team behind them. And that means that they are maintaining, because that maintenance means they are going to get satisfied users. Satisfied users are going to come back, some of those being more friendly towards GitHub, and put a star. So where do you put a star? If you just for the sake of this discussion, you go here into any particular repository. We call this a repository, and you just click on this, and I start a repository. That's it. Okay, so taking a step back, why do we have this? Like the entire internet, and this is something that I think most people who are, again, bringing back the topic from yesterday, the SaaS and the no SaaS topic, I'm definitely in the no SaaS bandwagon. I do not believe SaaS is the future. I do not also believe that it'll all vanish in one day. Okay, so there is a middle ground. This is where I believe that engineering as an idea will stay, but engineering in the practices and the way that engineers, me as an engineer, have been holding on to them and not allowing others to contribute, or not opening up that power, that is going to go away. More people are going to become semi engineers, or let's say assisted engineers in software, and that I believe is truly the better future. Objectively, to me, that is the better future. Okay, now let's look at this repository. It says that building a modern alternative to Salesforce powered by the community. Wow, what a wonderful tagline. I don't know what it means, but I believe that they are putting in the best effort. They also have 20.com, by the way, which is a crazy expensive domain name, I'm guessing. So I'm guessing that this is somewhere, maybe, I don't know if it is funded, self-funded, bootstrapped, whatever it is, but I'm guessing that this is a product which has had, from its history, it seems like 9,000 plus commits, but by the way, the individual, let's say, set of changes of code that you put together into one, let's say, document them, hey, I did blah. Okay, so you term that as a commit, and it goes and down. Now it resides on GitHub, so it's visible for all of us, visible to all of us. This has been actively maintained. It seems like they have been pushing changes even like 26 minutes back. Kudos to that. That's something that's also a positive signal I look for. So number of stars, what is the total number of commits, what is the number of minutes ago or hours ago or days ago, even sometimes months ago, that this has received any updates of any kind. These are critical things that I look for when I look for open source software. So coming to the nocodo way. The nocodo way is, let's say I decide on this software. It says number one open source CRM. I'm like, okay, let's give it a shot. How do you give it a shot? Giving it a shot is where I think most businesses are really failing. Like, there is fantastic open source software, and they have companies behind them which will give you support. I'm sure that if I go to this pricing page, yes, there is a support. So maybe this is the hosted model, but I'm sure you can also have a paid services model where they will come and you can host, you can customize, but they will simply give you support in either implementing new features, giving support to, like, you are bigger as a company and your CRM is so critical to you that you need the original creator of that CRM software to give you support. All of these are available, and that is the nocodo way. The nocodo way is a more collaborative way. There are existing developers, including the founders of Bun, by the way, which just got acquired to Anthropic, that these developers have invested the time, the effort, the money it takes to build some of these products, to maintain these products. So what I believe is the future is that we use them, we build on top of them. Businesses, if you don't have to build the entire CRM, and instead you can look at this CRM and like, yeah, this looks like a nice CRM. I like the out of box, out of the box UI, or that, that they do this, blah blah blah. Their features, they look good, they look nice. How can I have a demo? Boom. You either sign up with them, or you're like, okay, do I now need an IT person to actually do something with it? Like, is it open? If it is open source and if it is self-hosted, why can I not host it myself? Well, that's where nocodo comes in. The idea of nocodo is this, that you should be able to host the open source software right out of the box and be able to customize on top. So LLMs or AI models help in each of these steps. That there is a plethora of, there is a whole universe filled with really high quality open source software. Nocodo enables you to run your own server, where nocodo does all the management on your behalf, gets you the software, installs it, gives you a demo, so you can, through nocodo, just immediately open, give access to your team members, add modifications, make changes, because LLMs or large language models or AI models will help you in doing that. So that whole code generation and everything happens on nocodo. You get access to the workflows customized to your business as you move on, right, as you grow. So that's the future. By the way, I'm just going to try this because I'm also curious what this product is about. So I'm just going to sign in while we are doing this, like while I'm recording this video. Why not? This is what I'm mostly going to talk about for the next few videos. There is a rich set of software, from ERP to CRM to to contacts management. By the way, there are also native apps, as I know of. There are a ton of these software. So here, for example, it immediately says, hey, do a trial with us. I don't want to do a trial. I want to host it myself, but I cannot do it because it seems like, if I'm using their hosted version, I need to, pay in, right? Or maybe they will ask me for my credit card. I don't know which one it is, but let's assume, let's do a 30-day trial without credit card. Okay, I see the 7 days is without credit card, so I'm going to just take that and then continue. So I just wanted to get a glimpse of the user interface of this software, and not necessarily that I'm going to use this. Okay, so workspace name, let's say nocodo. And then Yeah, let it do whatever it's doing. So let's see, I want to similarly, let's say I want to go ahead and I want to create, so this was CRM, right? I wanted to have, let's say, an e-commerce. Okay, so what I would do, I would go back to GitHub. By the way, there are other places where we could also search for such quality open source software. I'm just using GitHub as an example, but let's say I want to use e-commerce. Sorry, e-commerce. Let's search for e-commerce, and we see again, I always sort by most starred. Okay, so stars is probably a very good metric to like if this is popular out in the real world or not. And I see 31,000 stars, so ranked by the number of stars. This looks really good. Okay, so let me just open the first one. You will also see that there are technological differences. So this is written in TypeScript, this one is in PHP, this one is in Python, this one is in Ruby. So there are some preferences, but again, I don't believe so. The nocodo way is not to be not to have to bother about these things. Okay, so you will focus on what is the outcome I'm looking for. A business, I need XYZ e-commerce, I'm going to focus on the features. Like, do the features hit my business, like do the business not hit, sorry, fit my business very well. If they don't, I would simply switch over to another one which is still popular, still well supported, still has a great community behind it, so I can get some support. But I may not care about the tech stack, so it does not matter to me, because that's exactly what nocodo is supposed to solve for you. You don't have to spend time looking at the tech stack. So let's say I look into this one, and I look into this one, and this one, and then finally the fourth one. Okay, so 4 of them opened up side by side. This one, I'm going to star all of them because I love these. Doing this is like a little hobby I have. So whenever I look at good open source software, I will immediately go ahead and give it a star. Okay, and I recommend you to do I suggest you to highly suggest you to do that, because for developers, right, for people like us who are building these software, it means the world to us when you show that kind of a support, that okay, you looked at this project, you liked it, like okay, I'm looking for an e-commerce software, I'm going to star you, and maybe even if I don't install this right now, get a demo, I'm going to come back to you. So you can go to GitHub and you can look at your starred projects and you can come back to them. It's like a favorite. Okay, so so this was Medusa was on JavaScript, right? So this is written here. I see the major language is TypeScript. Okay, this one is in PHP. This is called what? Bagisto. Okay, Bagisto is in PHP, and I would open up now. I would open up their company websites, because of course this source code is all nice and good for me, but again, for your context, I want to really care about that there is a company behind them. Is the company's website good? Are they selling me an e-commerce platform? Does the like, do their wording or whatever they're talking about, does it make sense, right? That's what I really care about as an end user. So I would focus on that. This was, by the way, another one I was looking at, this by Vercel. I've not really looked into it, so I'm going to close this tab. So here we have these tabs. Medusa, it says the world's most flexible commerce platform. I'm guessing they're going to live up to that expectation. I don't know, but again, that's not going to be part of this short video. In the next few videos, we are going to see how easy it is to actually go ahead and deploy and get a demo of these on my own server, and then we are going to try them out. So that's the whole practice. That's when nocodo really comes in, and it allows me to customize all of those, going to be in the next videos. But for now, I just wanted to glance through them. So this is Bagisto. Okay, some real logos going on here. So Toyota Thailand, awesome. Yay, yeah, why not? I see this is FT. I don't know what FT is. It's an NFT something. Okay, I don't know. I have heard of this brand. I don't know of these other brands, but that's fine. Let's look at Medusa. Do they have some brand logos here? Yes, they have. Okay, so I see Reddington. I know of them. Mitsubishi, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know all of those brands, but a few I can see and I can recognize. Okay, let's go to these guys. Celior, very different look and feel. I like it. It's I don't know, it looks more like an admin-ish look and feel, but a website into it. Okay, I see the brands here. Breitling, yes, that's the watch company if I remember. Zolando, yeah, that's a big commerce company if I remember. UNICEF, obviously, everybody knows them, I'm guessing. Okay, and then we move on to this last one. So now, out of the box, what did we realize? So from my point of view, this is the biggest benefit that I believe AI coding, agentic coding is going to bring to us, is that it's going to become easier to just grab one of these, take one of these, customize, build my business on top. And this is just e-commerce. We just looked at e-commerce. We just looked at CRM. Imagine every piece of the business puzzle. I don't have to buy into a SaaS. I can get started with them, get the support from them, paid or not, the moment I want to. We will build a better community because all of these people will go back to, because at the end of the day, this is how I believe the wealth that is submitted into these SaaS companies is going to become more distributed, because we are going to empower people to use existing open source software. More people, more money going to more companies means more diversification of that wealth, right? Instead of accumulating that into a few SaaS companies. So okay, again, this is, of course, you can imagine this is tangential, but it just shows my thought process. And I think this is important because nocodo is, as much as it is a product that I'm sharing in this channel, I'm also sharing my thought process, how I believe the business world will be impacted in the next 10 years to come. Okay, so that's it. Today, I'm not going to show you a demo. I just wanted to discuss these 2 points. One is that whole Bun Anthropic acquisition. I'm very happy, like I said, in short, I'm very happy that companies are chasing customers, chasing end customers. Anthropic is doing that. Google is clearly doing that. OpenAI, I'm sure that there is something on their roadmap. But also from my end, like I said, little guy, from the corner of the planet, I'm from a small town, a small city. Nobody knows, whatever. I live in the village. I actually live in a Himalayan village, by the way. Right now I'm in Kolkata, but I live also in a small Himalayan village most of my time. And for me, this is very fundamentally important, is because this gives me a lot of validation that I'm in the right path. I am going to support people. I would love to do that, make my revenue model out of that, so that I help businesses build their entire software the way they want, customized the way they want to, right? So yeah, that's the vision I'm aiming for. That's why I'm building all of this. I've been building, like I said, it's been 2 years that I'm building in this domain. 4-5 months specifically for this product. So I hope to meet some of you through your if you want to reach out to me on YouTube or wherever else you find me. But I'm happy to talk. Have fun.